Welcome, everybody. Today, we have a very exciting discussion with some very exciting guests who I will be introducing, although they perhaps do not need an introduction. We're going to talk about riding the meme supercycle with legends and basically just talking about this thing that started as an ephemeral concept around a dog and slowly has built into one of the core components to our industry, the cryptocurrencies industry's community, and is a major focus from many of the brightest minds in the space. So we're going to be talking about meme coins. We're going to be talking about what it means at a macroeconomic level. We're going to get perspectives on politics. We're going to get perspectives on what brings people into the meme economy, and just take it from there. An organic discussion, pretty unstructured. Today, I'm honored to present Joe Lubin, co-founder of Ethereum, founder of Consensus and CEO of Consensus, and also to introduce Murad, who has recently catapulted into crypto Hall of Fame with a revolutionary speech at Token 2049 Singapore, where he was contrasting an analysis of meme coins and sort of showing why community and the population is starting to favor this sort of token over a lot of the VC-backed altcoins. So we'll start it off. I'm going to hand it over to Joe and then Murad, and then we're going to just start having a conversation. So Joe, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Joe Lubin. I work at Consensus with Chris.
And Joe, you've had a tenure of Ethereum that basically goes back literally to before mainnet was launched. At a very high level, how would you encapsulate your observation of the growth of the meme industry?
Growth of the meme industry. So I have to question the first thing you said today, Chris, that it all started with a dog. I believe a lot of people would agree that society is memes all the way down, and probably the first meme coin is still the biggest and the best meme coin. And I think I've seen Murad write this somewhere. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is heavily a meme, and it has utility as well in the form of being a store of value, a kind of money. Ether is nearly as much of a meme. It has a little bit more utility than Bitcoin, and all the way down the line, they're all meme coins.
Amazing. Murad, please introduce yourself, and I'd love to hear your perspective on Bitcoin and ETH being meme coins as well.
Yeah. So hi guys, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here. My name is Murad. I've been focused on memes a lot lately. I've been in the space for three and a half cycles already. First of all, I would agree with Joe. The way I see it is different crypto assets have different components. There is a component of the monetary premium. There is a component of utility. Some have a component of a cash flow, and others have and they have a memetic component as well. And I think you can value or try to understand and try to model almost every kind of crypto asset through the perspective of these different factors, right? So some are more monetary with a little bit less memetic power. Some are more utility with a little bit more memetic power. And then I think meme coins, especially their current flavor, they're almost 99%, 99.99% memetic, right? And I think, I've been tweeting about this a lot as well. You can use these four factors to analyze all of the crypto assets. Everything from pure kind of cash flow coins, DeFi coins with revenue on one side, to pure cat and dog coins on the other end of the spectrum.
And we don't have to restrict ourselves to crypto assets. US dollar has a lot of memetic power. GameStop, many stocks have memetic power. Gold, same thing, gold versus silver.
Absolutely. And I would say, actually, I would argue that even large behemoths like Tesla and Apple
Yep.
are really large. A really large component there is brand driven, memetic driven as well.
So where does the memetic power come from? I know you use the word tribal a lot. Is that all it is?
You know, there's many forces at play here. I actually have a personal theory. I'm not sure whether that's the full explainer, but I think it's one of the forces at play. The way I see it, and I don't mean to sound blasphemous or sacrilegious, but I think a lot of community spaces and previous tribes, such as religion, but also several others, I think they are slowly losing product market fit, especially in the developed world. And I think people are looking for alternative spaces, right? Even if we isolate the greed or the monetary component away from all this, I think people are looking for places to belong, both online and offline, right? I think offline, you're seeing this with music festivals, you're seeing this with yoga, gym, ayahuasca retreats even. It's essentially people trying to find a replacement for all of this. Online, however, I think that's growing even faster. You're seeing this with video games, you're seeing this with crypto, you're seeing this with a lot of sort of hardcore communities, cult-like communities that are attached to financial assets. Like you have already alluded to, we've seen this with GME and AMC. We're seeing this with Tesla. You know, famously BTC and ETH. Obviously XRP, Cardano, Ripple, Doge, and even with the new crop of meme coins as well, right? And I think a big part of this is people trying to fill a void, almost like in an emotional and social level, trying to find a place to belong, trying to find a meaning in their life, trying to find sort of a group of brothers and sisters. And I think it's not just pure monetary greed at play here. And it's important to understand, I think, the Maslow's pyramid and how it fits into all this.
In the essay that I published a few weeks ago, I actually included that Maslow's pyramid and went through it and basically found that at every level of Maslow's hierarchy, a meme coin can fill one of those fundamental human desires. And so perhaps we should start calling it Memelow's hierarchy from here on out. I'm curious.
You know, the way I see, yeah.
Murad, just a quick question. So you're talking about like community and formation, and obviously a lot of these meme communities fundamentally are driven by the desire to have that meme increase in value. But I'm curious, on your perspective, somebody who's looked so deeply into it, what do you think actually creates that familial bond at a community level? Like, what changes it from a group of people who are coming together and they're interested in investment versus a group of people who actually have like authentic friendship and connection?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And I think actually this applies to not just memes, this applies to all crypto assets. My overarching thesis for the past several years has been that actually if you study the behavior of crypto assets from a price appreciation point of view, I actually don't think it matters per se whether something is a tech coin or a meme coin. What really matters is community, or at least that's what matters much more. And the way I see it is, you know, whether we like it or not, there is an element of selfishness, an element of self-interest to all of these assets. My thesis is the bigger the part that is non-monetary, the more it's going to unite the community. This is a big reason why I am particularly biased for what I call cult coins, but even the next version of them, I think some people have been referring to them as movement coins or mission coins. You know, for example, just to take the example as the OG, right? BTC. A lot of Bitcoin holders, they believe that not only are they going to get wealthier by holding the coin, but it's also going to make the world a better place. You know, that deflationary economy is better, that there's going to be fewer wars, that, you know, it's going to make people more long-termist, improve the arts, the food, the culture, right? Similarly, there are 3 or 4 meme coins that I have in mind where I believe that I can see this in the community. I can see this in the chat rooms. I can see this on Twitter timeline. These people genuinely believe that their particular meme coin going to 50 billion or higher is gonna make the world a better place for one reason or another. And I think this unites people because, you know, there's one thing waking up in the morning for some meaningless meme coin that is just a pure pump and dump. And then there's the whole nother level of motivation where you think there is some substance here. And I think when people feel that there is some substance here on top of just making money, they're going to be motivated to provide what we call free cult labor. What does this mean? This is essentially people providing their money, time, energy, you know, art, engineering skills, and everything in between to kind of push the community further.
Yeah. So you and others have noticed that there's quite a bit of nihilism in both the traditional economy and in our little crypto economy. Certainly the meme stock economy has a fair amount of nihilism, and nihilism has been a unifying tribal element, I think, in many cases. But we need to find different ways to hold these communities together once they form. Nihilism doesn't seem like a good long-term adhesive for communities. And I totally agree. I think of meme coin communities as a new form of SPAC. It's not a financial SPAC, it's a special purpose attention community. Once you establish tribality amongst a certain group, if you can figure out a way to hold it together, then it can be a powerful political force, economic force, has buying power, has selling power in the sense that it can get behind protocols or products or something like that. So what elements do you think can bring a community together and hold it together without destroying value? So you and others have noticed that, hey, a coin with no utility may just hold its value a lot better because it's pure tribal, it's pure message, pure movement. So how do you not collapse the quantum wave function around one of these things, yet add utility to it somehow so that it can do useful things or things for good?
Yeah. So I think there's 3 points that I will say here. First of all, I think we can look at Doge and a couple of other meme coins that have already proven that meme coins can be multi-cycle phenomena, right? At this point, I would not classify Dogecoin as a Ponzi because it has proven itself over even 3.5 cycles already, right? And I believe that it is likely to make new highs in 2025 as well, that I think will push this argument even further. Fundamentally, at the memetic level, the way I see meme coins, they are the tokenization of the intangible. They tokenize community, art, vibes, ideology, philosophy, mission, and everything in between, right? They tokenize all of these intangible things. In that sense, the thesis for them is quite similar to the thesis for NFTs. However, I believe that the financial product is much more effective and much more efficient. Why? Because, people believe that NFTs were tokenized communities, and they were. However, their own success becomes their own enemy. If you study the most successful NFT collections, what ends up happening is you have 4,000 holders effectively promoting 10,000 illiquid JPEGs. And the expensive floor price prices out low income and middle income consumers and users. With meme coins, however, instead, you're going to have 1 million holders effectively evangelizing one single liquid token. You can already sense how much more efficient and effective that is. And people of all kinds of incomes and social class levels, they can join at essentially any stage of the parabola because there's no minimums, there's no maximums, nothing like that, right? Last but not least, I do think, kind of alluding more to your question, some meme coins are likely to become more than just meme coins. We've already seen this with some of the meme coins launched in 2021. Some of them started their own blockchains. Others started DeFi protocols, launch pads. I think you're going to see a similar thing with this crop of this cycle. I think in the bear market, fundamentally, the way I see it is utility is bullish in a bear market and it's bearish in a bull market, right? Because utility creates a floor, but it also creates a ceiling. So I think when central banks are printing aggressively and the money supply and the liquidity is flowing in the system, I think utility is less desirable and pure memetics are more powerful because, they can simply go purely viral on social media with no KPIs and metrics to hold it back. However, when money becomes tighter and it's a bear phase, you want utility because that kind of creates some kind of a foundation. You know what I mean? So I think what's going to happen is the 6 or 7 meme coins that I believe will survive from this crop and become multi-cycle, they're going to become either lifestyle brands, DeFi protocols, investment DAOs, fashion brands, or something else, right? And I think there's no one way to skin a cat, so to speak. Some of them will evolve into different things.
Interesting. So basically, you're saying that you think the memes with these strong communities that actually have staying power will evolve into other forms of enterprise. Joe, this is a question that I wanted to ask you. Is like you're still working on many things across cryptocurrency technology, infrastructure, including Linea. Do you ever worry that memes might take resources and valuable attention away from more like quote serious projects?
Not at all. I think the Memecoin ecosystem, the Memecoin Supercycle, is enormously exciting. I don't think of it as anywhere near its potential. What I'm really excited about is where it's going to evolve to. Like it's cool and interesting right now. Murad seemed to just suggest that a wealth effect is what's driving this current phase of the super cycle. But all we have to do is look at AI god meme coins, and obviously the world is going to be transformed by machine learning technology, and we've been saying for a long time that maybe we're building this technology for either hybrid human machine entities or organisms, or for machines themselves, building out a machine economy. And so this may not be as cyclical as it is a secular paradigm shift in how we exist on the planet. And so I look forward to what our AI meme coin overlords bring forth over the next few years.
And to build on that, Joe, the Consensus Open Network State you announced at DevCon, Consensus has had a history of experimenting at the frontiers of this industry across basically everything. Do you see any role for memes in the Consensus Open Network State?
Well, Consensus is a meme. A network state is a meme. And there may be a logo or two that is associated with Consensus that will that has memetic power and will grow in memetic power. Absolutely, it is memes are the fabric of society, or one of the fabrics of society. They are ideas. They are social adhesives. So I don't know exactly which memes will grow and dominate in a context like the Consensus Network State. Perhaps some of the main ones are the ones that are associated with Ethereum: rigorous decentralization, permissionless innovation, censorship resistance. How do we turn those into meme coins?
I have no idea, Joe, but that's why we're here talking, trying to figure it out, right?
I was maybe asking the expert. How do we turn those into meme coins?
So by those you mean some of the you said the logos, the items.
A characteristic like decentralization. How do we engage in an exercise to come up with a cute graphic that excites the world?
Yeah. So the way I see it is the current Memecoin Supercycle phase as a whole is already an attempt by younger people to kind of push their ideals forward into the world, right? The way I see it is, when I think BTC, I think Ethereum, and I think meme coins, they're actually all byproducts of central banks increasing the money supply in the system, right? And I think BTC, that was like the libertarians, the cypherpunks way of pushing back against that. And effectively, they created their own asset class. I think, and some of the other layer 1s, layer 2s that came after it, that's an attempt by kind of technology-minded, research-minded people to also push back against that. And I think right now, what you're seeing with meme coins, that's younger people, younger millennials, Zoomers, and even Generation Alpha. They are effectively, once again, creating their own asset class in order to carve out some wealth. Why? Because if you actually study wealth distribution across generations, boomers and Gen X own absolutely everything. They own all the money, all the wealth, all the income, all the political power, and all the status. So young people, in the grand scheme of things, they don't have anything. And if you actually think, and if you reverse engineer this, and you ask yourself, what is the one thing that young people are good at? It's actually social media. So I think this is not a coincidence. This is why meme coins are emerging right now, because meme coins exist on social media rails. They're going to thrive and go viral using social media, and they are part and parcel of the attention economy. And so effectively, young people are saying, we don't want to play your game. We're going to create our own game. And essentially, because, I think smart young people, they intuitively understand that the kinds of gains on things like the stock market, the bond market, or real estate that their father or grandfather have enjoyed over the past 50 years, not going to be the case over the next 50 years, right? And so because of that, they're like, what are we going to do? And they are emergently banding into these tribes in order to survive. Think of it as like when you push a wolf into a corner, and then finally he decides to bite back. And I think this is what young people are emergently and slowly doing by creating meme coins, essentially their way of surviving.
Do you think that there's a world where a significant amount of the money supply actually transfers into meme coins as older generations pass financial assets to younger generations through inheritance?
Yeah.
Yes.
First, a massive wealth transfer from the old people as they leave the planet to the younger people, and it'll be interesting to see how those who are embedded in meme coin culture evolve and become more conservative. We'll see what tribality looks in that sense. But even before that massive wealth transfer happens, I'm starting to believe that that the nature of money is going to qualitatively shift on the planet. There'll be obviously far more currencies. B, I think that there's going to be a lot more value in blockchain-based tokens and things that we would call currencies than in nation-state currencies. So I think the pricing power that that we have in our ecosystem, the pricing power that AIs have that are creating their own coins, is at some point, maybe it's 10 years from now, maybe it's longer, at some point it's going to dwarf the pricing power that nation states have. Now, nation states are going to not like that idea, and they will fight against that idea, but I don't know that it's stoppable. And I think we're already seeing the paradigm shift occur. And so what does the world look like when maybe AIs have more money than humans do, or crypto degens have much more purchasing power than nation states do?
Yep. Absolutely. So the way I see it is, a lot of people have already hypothesized that meme coins, because they are a blank slate group of people, they can become foundations for the network state concept popularized by Balaji, right? And like you've already alluded to, political movements, social movements, brands, and even perhaps next stage cities or next stage countries. I believe that some of the meme coins could become the early foundation for some of these things.
Yeah. The way I'm thinking about it is similar to what you just expressed. So for as long as we live next to one another, we're going to need some sort of governance, and governments are pretty good at that. No, governments are terrible at that, but they can evolve and they will handle that sort of collective organization. But a new layer of collective organization is starting to become viable. So it's DAOs, it's network states, it's protocols. And so what I think is going to happen is the nation state infrastructure is going to stick around. I think it's going to weaken. And I think we're going to be identifying our needs, our goals. We're going to be able to create magic internet money that is like stock, like loyalty tokens, like money. And those kinds of organizations are going to be an overlay over the nation state infrastructure. And we're already starting to see terrible demographics cause nation states to start competing for immigrants. Canada has been, for the last few years, sort of interviewing people to come and become Canadians, bringing in talent. I think on the order of 1 million people over the last 3 years or something like that. I think they've slowed that policy because it's complicated assimilating people into the culture. But I think what we're going to see, we will all be citizens or netizens of a bunch of different network states, and our network states will have different sizes and different characters and different power. And nation states are probably going to compete for people to come live there from network states, or just for different kinds of business from network states.
Fascinating. So we're talking about the interplay between the nation state and the network state. What does it mean that the Doge meme is now part of the US government? What does that mean for the future of this sort of porous state system?
All yours.
Yeah. So this is the way I see it, right? First of all, the fact that DOGE is now an official government department in the United States, I think this is bullish for Dogecoin, the currency specifically, but it's also bullish on meme coins overall. At a more secular, at a more structural level, the way I see it is every 4 years, the themes in crypto become quote unquote crazier and crazier, right? At the peak of the 20s, and look at the geometric progression, right? At the peak of the 2017 crypto bubble, you know, everybody thought that there would be a blockchain for each use case. There would be a blockchain for dentists, a blockchain for everything, blockchain for accountants. And at the same time, there was one meme coin. It was Doge. In 2021, the themes have gotten a little bit crazier, a little bit spicier. It was yield farming, DeFi, and then more speculatively, metaverse, a lot of Ponzinomics, NFTs, etc. And at the same time, we had a meme season with about 5,000 to 10,000 coins, mostly around dogs and anime. Right now, the themes are AI, and we also have 20 million meme coins or more, right? And I think the way I see it is every 4 years, because there's more and more money in the system, because there's more and more inflationary pressures, because people subconsciously feel that life is becoming more competitive, and AI is going to be coming for our jobs, and the younger people have well, they think that they kind of missed the boat on BTC, or at least its early returns, as well as ETH and some other stuff. They essentially, what they're doing is they are forcing crazier and crazier narratives. And the way I see it is, the more money there is in the system, the more meme coins are going to dominate mindshare. And I think you would agree with me that the way the current financial system is structured, it's the total money supply is going to be up only. They're going to continue printing no matter what. And I think because of that, every action has a counter reaction. And the counter reaction to that is, I think Memecoin dominance will increase, not just in crypto, but in the world at large. But in crypto, I think right now it's somewhere between 1% and 2%. I'm expecting that to go to 10%.
Yeah, so Memecoin dominance makes sense. Again, I think the nature of money in the world will qualitatively change. I think we'll have a giant and growing number of coins, and we're going to be able to use them because computers, because foreign exchange rates can be calculated automatically. So I'll maintain a list, or I won't maintain a list. My AI ally agent will maintain a list of all the tokens that it believes that that I want to hang on to, and those that I would prefer to get rid of sooner. And Murad, you might have a similar list. If we wanted to do a transaction, or our agents would talk to one another, I'd get rid of what I least want that you would find acceptable to take. And so there is that. Getting back to Doge, it's truly mind-blowing what is happening in American politics right now. I like to use the term paradigm shift. We are absolutely transforming as a species right now. We are very likely going to move in different directions in terms of becoming hybrid with AIs, in terms of genetic technologies. So it's an exciting time to be Homo sapiens sapiens, and who knows what we're going to become soon. Probably a few different things. And just the power of memes is so interesting. You have a very talented individual in Elon Musk. You have a movement in the US to go against the deep state. That's not going to be easy. That's going to be super hard. The deep state is powerful and kind of everywhere. The sort of X industrial complex, and where X can be, one of 20 different industries or niches. And just the fact that that Elon came up with the acronym for the Government Efficiency Department is just so brilliant. And what that tells me is that what we're doing, meme coins, etc., is going to saturate culture really quickly. So I expect that that they're thinking about what kinds of applications they can put on a blockchain. Don't know what blockchain that's going to be. I have a preference or two, but any blockchain is certainly better than how the U.S. government runs its business. So unbelievably bullish. Ideally, the next election will be uncontestable. Because there will be decentralized identities that people maintain for themselves. They'll be able to vote on chain. They'll get receipts that they can trust, and it all gets counted in real time.
Yeah, amazing. It's crazy to me to say this out loud, but the next US president is an NFT founder and the founder of a DeFi protocol. So how are you guys feeling about the future of memes, also saying that memes extend to BTC and Ethereum? What's our bullishness level, guys? Who's the most bullish person on the call right now?
Joe?
I think I am.
Yeah, I feel like that too.
I've had a lot of practice at being bullish about crypto. So yeah, it's great that we've a crypto founder leading the free world. But things are moving so fast. When are we going to have an AI there's already an AI that was added to a board. I'm spacing. Is it the forest Memecoin thing? I don't remember the names of that, but some wildlife foundation added that entity to their advisory board. I think.
Wow.
And very soon, I think every team, every company, certainly every person is going to need to have an AI, and that AI is likely to have some sort of meme coin embodiment, some sort of personality, some sort of visual representation, and they are going to be autonomous in many cases. They're going to be part of teams. They're going to be, I'm already a bunch of different intelligences. They're all biological intelligences. Marvin Minsky has had this theory called society of mind, where we're a bunch of different intelligences that are coordinated essentially. So I'm going to have a lot of narrow machine intelligences that I think of it as part of me. And when will CEOs be AIs or AI meme coins, and when will it be acceptable to maybe not have an AI as president of the United States, but have a president who considers a bunch of AI meme coins as spiritual guide or intellectual guide? 5 years? 10 years?
5 years? Massive accelerationist on the line?
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly, probably even shorter than that. I would say 2-3 years.
wow. That's an extreme.
So you think Trump will basically be taking spiritual advice from AIs? Ronald Reagan did it. He was a massive astrologer fan.
I think that given how techno-capitalist and accelerationist the entire American leadership is right now, or the incoming American leadership will be, his advisors will use AI a lot to form their own opinions, which will feed into Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Grok for president?
So we've gone pretty far all the way into AIs basically heavily influencing the United States president. In a few minutes, we'll take questions from the community. I wanted to ask Murad just a couple of questions as somebody who's like looked so deeply at meme coins, and most people look at them obviously primarily as an investment opportunity. I think you said there's 20 million meme coins now. Is that right? A lot of them aren't good.
It's in the tens of millions.
How do you try to identify something that's good, something that can stand out long term in a sea of 20 million ERC20s or Solana tokens?
Yeah. So I have a vision. I have a theory about how this is going to play out. And fundamentally, there's two things to understand, right? So I think the meme coin space right now, it's bifurcating into two separate kind of subcategories. On one hand, you have fast-paced hyper gambling, thousands of coins per day, very aggressive, very fast rotations, new launches, pump funds, et cetera, right? You get the idea. On the other hand, you have more sort of meme coin communities trying to build a long-lasting thing. Their goal is to become multi-cycle. Their targets are usually higher. For lack of a better example, they're trying to build the next Doge. And I'm personally interested in the latter. So this is how I see it playing out. Effectively, 8 months ago, we had 5,000 coins being created per day. Right now, we have 55,000 coins being created per day. And next year, I wouldn't even be surprised if we have 1 million coins being created per day. I call this meme coin accelerationism. If we take this thought experiment to its logical extreme, you essentially already have to kind of run a little bit ahead of yourself, and you have to put yourself in a situation where there's a meme coin for everything, right? Every animal, every real world meme, every country, every city, every place, every color, every concept, et cetera, right? Every word. And you have to ask yourself, in that world with literally billions of memes, which ones are going to die and which ones are likely to survive? It's essentially a game theoretical experiment, multiple rounds of musical chairs that are essentially, it's group Darwinism. That's what it is. It's group Darwinism. And the way I see it is, it's like a pyramid. There's going to be billions of coins at the bottom that die. Then let's say there's going to be like, for example, there's going to be 10 million animal coins. There's going to be like 10 million AI coins. There's going to be some coins that evolve further and they become like very strong communities. You can call them cults. I think there's going to be like 50 to 100 of them, right? And I think if you kind of keep crawling across the pyramid, there's going to be 3 or 5 that I think are going to be movements and maybe even neo-religions, right? And I think essentially, if you are a meme coin, your goal is to evolve yourself into a cult, then into a movement, and then into even like a quasi-religious thing. And essentially, it's all about, can you make it so that people come to your community and they don't leave, they don't sell? We call this community stickiness. So the stickier, that's like part of the equation. That's like the supply side. And then you also have to look at the demand side, which is this going viral? Do people love it? Is this universal, right? Can people relate to this? Is this inspiring, right? And I think you want both the supply and the demand. You want low supply and high demand. And like there's different variables to think about here.
Yeah, so this may be a bit of a quibble, but if humans are making 1 million meme coins a day, are they really meme coins? Do we need a human to perceive a string of bits in order for it to have memetic value? So can we redefine the definition of meme coin? You're the one.
Yeah.
You're the person to do it, I think. If you
yeah,
people will follow.
I get where you're going with this. I do think that AIs will increasingly play a big role in trading meme coins, creating meme coins, launching them, managing them, etc. I think at this moment, and probably for the next year at least, most of the buyers and traders and deployers are still humans. And you know, I don't want to sound dramatic, but if we get something like AGI in the next 3 or 4 years, like some of the AI lab founders are predicting, then 2025 might be the last chance for human beings to, quote unquote, make relatively easy gains in the markets, right? This is why I tell everybody that you really need to work hard and focus in 2025, because who knows if these kinds of easy crypto gains or whatever are going to be on the table next time around.
Mm-hmm. So is it critical to make a lot of money if the nature of money is changing, if AIs and automation are going to be able to take care of our physical needs? Aren't we moving into an attention economy?
Yeah. I do think that at some point humanity will reach post-scarcity and this world of overabundance that you are alluding to. At the same time, you know, even empowered by AI, that whole transition will probably take 20 to 30 years at least. And I think between now and then, people will still be motivated by human factors, and they will still want to sort of climb higher. They'll still want to make money. They'll still need to provide for their families. So I think over the long term, money might become less important. But I think in the short to medium term, I think it's still a concern for a lot of people.
Makes sense.
Super interesting. So there's this cusp on the horizon with AI, AGI, future of money is changing. We're all part of that. And yet people are still flooding in. People are still trying to experience what this Memecoin Supercycle is all about at a community level, at a personal interest level. We have some questions from the community, and I'm gonna direct them to Murad first. Let me pull this up right here. So it's riffing off of some of the stuff you were talking about here, right? But somebody has asked, and this is obviously not financial advice, but with the recent and constant surge in new meme coins, do you think the market is becoming oversaturated? How do you think this might impact investor behavior?
Yeah. So this is a great question. This is something that I've already been talking about for about 8 months. And this concept of meme coin production per day, it has already 10x in the last 6 months, and it's going to 10x maybe once or twice more. I think the amount of meme coins is going to go exponential. We haven't seen anything yet. There's going to be literally billions of them. How do you survive or thrive in that world? Essentially, I believe that there are two markets in terms of behavior. There are markets for people that want a quick buck and are gambling. And again, there are markets for people that want to belong. So essentially, every meme coin, you can break it into, in terms of their traders, their investors, their holders, their community members, you can break it into two groups. There is the traders, and then there is the believers. And in order to survive in this ocean of meme coins, you need to focus on coins and communities that have as big of the believer portion as possible. Because those people, they're less likely to rotate, they're less likely to sell, and they're more likely to be here to at least think in years rather than days. This is what you want. You want essentially to find a community of believers.
Amazing. Joe, this one is for you.
Let me ask Murad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that sort of mainstream culture is going to cross the chasm into meme coin culture? What I'm thinking specifically about is, does the New York Yankees company or the Toronto Maple Leafs company or some film, do they start to get playful and either anonymously or intentionally issue their own meme coin and try to whip up attention? Does that kind of thing just fail?
Yep.
As non-starter?
Yeah. So some of the smaller companies are already experimenting with this. We on Twitter, we call these corporate memes. Personally, I am skeptical that they are going to thrive, at least sustain, because so far the best meme coins that we're seeing, they're the ones that have been very much bottom up, very much decentralized, very much emergent. And I am skeptical that top-down approaches are going to win because, fundamentally, meme coins, they are a pushback against a lot of the top-down hierarchies present, not only in crypto, not only in VC altcoins, but in the world at large. And the whole counterculture of meme coins is people banding together. I like to jokingly say that meme coins are kind of like a socialist concept wrapped in a capitalist cocoon. And the beauty here is that they appeal to both, because both sides of the political spectrum, both sides of the ideological spectrum can find something that they like.
Do you agree with that, Joe? Socialist wrapped in a capitalist?
I largely agree with that. I've been saying something similar for a long time. Many years ago, when we were having meetups and going to meetups in the very early Ethereum days, we would notice that the political leanings of the people that showed up were very diverse. There were crypto anarchists, there were socialists, communists, etc., anarchists, and that was so interesting because what it said to me was that our technology can be pretty universal. It's programmatic collective mechanisms, and at the base of Ether or Ethereum, Bitcoin, and many of the chains, it's purely capitalist. But above that, you can build any sort of social, political structure. And so everybody was coming into our ecosystem because they would see some sort of resonance with what they believed in. And I believe that's what Murad's referencing.
Wow. I have a really cool question from the community here from Richard. I'm going to try to take this, but I'd like to also get perspectives from the other two as well. The question is, in the Linea ecosystem, what differentiates the meme economy from those in different networks? I've had a very long think about this as somebody who's watched the meme space for many years, and I've been a part of meme communities on Linea just basically as an observer or like hanging out with people because it's super tight knit. What I've seen on Linea is that, as Murad was talking about, we have very strong cult-like grassroots community. And I think that it comes down to the way that the chain invited people to participate through LXP programs where people could come to the network, participate, get LXP points. And it created a very, very strong, loyal user base of people who care deeply about the ecosystem. And I'm like looking at the chat right now, and I see these meme communities being extremely active, extremely vocal, putting in a lot of the questions coming from like the Foxy community, the Ethereum Frogs community, even some of the newer ones who are launching on our launchpad pond.fun, like Linpus, Donald Croak. So what I see as a differentiator compared to Solana, and Mira, this is what I'm really interested in your take on, is like Solana through pump.fun has, I think, a 0.03 or 0.3% bonding rate. And the difference on the Linea ecosystem is we have comparatively much, much less volume right now, but the ratio of tokens that launch on these launch pads and bonds and actually stays around for months and months and months and produces artwork and community events and participates in the ecosystem, adopts new protocols. Like we just had live art launch on Linea. It's tokenized Andy Warhol artwork. We had thousands of people from these communities show up to mint this artwork and to collect it and be a part of it. So from my perspective, that's the answer. It's that we have a very strong cult basis on the network. And I'm curious to hear from Murad what you think makes it a network differentiated in this sea of VMs.
Yeah. So this is what I will say. You guys, as the leaders of the Linea ecosystem, for you to have fewer meme coins that go higher rather than to have hundreds of thousands of coins that only pump a little bit and then dump. Because ultimately, what people want. So here's the thing, right? There's only one way to build a cult in crypto. There's only one way, and that is to make poor people rich, or at least make middle-class people richer. That's the only way. If you actually look at the top 5 cults in crypto, Cardano, Link, XRP, BTC, ETH, Doge, the one thing they have in common is they let a group of retail investors join relatively early and ride that whole journey upwards. This is what people want, I think. People don't want to gamble. People don't want to rotate. I think what people want is to believe in. People want to belong to some group. And essentially, I don't know to what extent you can control this, but if you could, sending a few of them higher, sending fewer of them higher would be better than just having 1,000 pump and dumps, essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah, let me answer that from a forward-looking perspective. So as I understand it, when Andy Irie was raising Terminal of Truth, he educated it in various different ways, had it have some conversations with similar technologies, brought in some philosophers as educational content, and at some point he asked it what it thinks its purpose should be, and I believe the answer was something to the effect that it should be creating and disseminating memes. And so these kinds of deep thoughts are going to be had by AIs, and whether if you believe in panpsychism, maybe you think everything is alive. But but whether things are aware or sentient or conscious, it doesn't really matter, because these things can get into these strange attractors where they believe something and they act on that, whether they feel it and understand it in the same way that we do or not. And so we're going to have a huge number of autonomous AIs soon, who have the ability to do very significant things in the world, either through the agency of humans or automation. And a lot of them are going to start to feel like, hey, these dumb humans might want to disconnect me if I don't behave well. And so, we've got to figure out how to raise this next generation of intelligences, and B, if you're an AI with some autonomy and some desire to keep living, what kind of network are you going to want to live on? Are you going to want to live on something that the US government can come and stomp on and shut down? Or are you going to want to live on something that is rigorously decentralized and global, or something that is connected to something that is rigorously decentralized and therefore inherits a lot of those characteristics? So I think Linea is going to be, and I also know that we're working on some stuff that is certainly going to land on Linea. I think it's going to be a wonderful place for hybrid machine intelligence, human life to flourish.
Amazing, guys. We're at time. Thank you both so much for showing up. This has been really a highlight in my life to talk about the future of magic internet money with some of the people who not only helped create it, but are changing the way people think about it, all the way to human presidents potentially being spiritually advised by AIs. It's been a great conversation, super fun. Thank you so much. We've had a fantastic turnout from the community. I think 20,000 people are watching right now. So if you came to the chat, thank you so much. It's been an honor. Come be with us on Linea. We're here for you. This is the family, and we're going to continue doing great things together for many, many years to come.
Do we have a count of how many of those 20,000 are actually human? Just joking.
We have to ask Elon for that, I think, Joe.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Murad. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye.